there's been more and more questions raised through that conversation. There was, what about this? What about that? How does it impact this? So, you know, every conversation has sort of provided more questions than answers, unfortunately, but, you know, together we're trying to work it out. I'm Tricia Cotterell. I'm a director at Fortunity Chartered Accountants and Financial Planners. The last fortnight has been very much transition phase, a lot of trauma within businesses, a lot of uncertainty. So I've had a lot of contact with clients, particularly in those industries which have been forced to shut down. So that's one level, and then you've got the industries who have been impacted by those other industries where they've been forced to shut down. So there's still a lot of uncertainty amongst businesses. The announcement of the stimulus packages, 3 rounds of stimulus packages over the last couple of weeks, has been just a massive influx of information, trying to disseminate that information and then apply it back to practical terms for our business clients. The second round of stimulus packages were the initiatives that were really focused on business, focused on those businesses which employ. That pay-as-you-go withholding credit, which will start rolling through in there once we start to prepare the March BASs. That was directed at employers specifically, so providing them with that 100% credit, or in some instances, if they're monthly for pay-as-you-go withholding, the March BAS will provide them with a 300% credit. That credit can then be applied towards their other business activity statement debt, and then if it happens to generate a refund, then yes, they will receive cash into their bank account. But there was concern there because it was meant to be an incentive for employers to keep their employees on. But if you've got businesses which have been forced to shut down, they have no sales, therefore they can't continue to pay wages. They don't have anything for the employees to do. It wasn't going to provide enough stimulus. So I guess then that this third round of stimulus package, which has included the job seeker payment, was meant to provide a direct cash payment or subsidy towards the employer so that they could then continue to stay connected with their employees. Businesses need to have a 30% reduction in turnover. You're not going to know whether you've had a 30% reduction in turnover unless you're a shut down business. But if you're just a business that's been affected by the general economic downturn, you're not going to know whether you've had a 30% reduction until the end of the month or the end of the reporting period. At the moment, the fact sheet that we've been provided suggests that we need to calculate the 30% decrease. It needs to be a comparison to the same period last year. So if you're quarterly for your business activity statement lodgement, you'll compare it, say, the March 20 quarter with the March 19 quarter. And then if you're monthly, it would be, say, the month of March with the March 19. So if you don't qualify for the JobKeeper payment, say in the month of March, then you may qualify in the month of April. So you need to keep on testing. And it is a good idea, if you're not already, to be registered for GST on a monthly basis so that you can keep on testing it. It seems to be that they're going to use the business activity statement reporting period as the test periods. So if you're quarterly, you don't want to, and if you didn't make it for the March quarter, you don't want to wait until June to know whether you're qualified or not, because you're going to have a lot of staff who want to know whether they're entitled to the JobKeeper payment. Get your books in order so that we can start projecting forward using some reliable data to project forward and to organise additional funding if you need it. But you have to know what the impact is going to be. Do some worst case scenarios. Do some scenario testing on your cash flow. So if you do have a 20% decrease in your turnover and you are obviously not entitled to the JobKeeper payment, or if JobKeeper payment is not going to be effective for you because the majority of your costs are not wages, they could be maintenance of equipment, they could be fuel, etc. You need to do some scenario testing on your cash flow to know exactly what that impact is going to be and start making plans for it now. Talking to your banks, getting some additional funding in place. There's even those government incentive packages with a $250,000 unsecured government guaranteed loans or 50% government guaranteed loans that you can speak to your bank managers about. I would highly recommend that businesses get in touch with their professional advisors, their accountants, their solicitors, start doing that projection or that scenario testing on your cash flow, and then also start having some conversations with your bank managers as well.